Starting the stream now. And we're live. Hello everybody. Sorry about the delay. Welcome back to Factorio Thursday. Again, sorry we're late, but we're here now. We're back for some more Factorio. Let me just get the chat window in the right place so that I can see you. And there we go. Okay. Hello everybody. Hi. Sorry, we are starting half an hour late today. I've been very busy. It was a struggle to get started at this time, to be honest, let alone at 3 o'clock as planned, but we're here now. Hello and welcome back to Factorio Thursday. We're going to dive straight in because we are starting a bit late. Oh, hold on, let me just make sure I've got all my chat windows visible for TikTok, for YouTube and Twitch as well. Okay, so we're diving back into Factorio. How you been, STFC? I've been good. We're diving back into Factorio, and today we are going to hopefully finally finish the research for artillery. So we are 37% of the way there, which is not bad. We've made significant progress. But what really held us up last time was the space platform, because it kept getting destroyed. Fortunately, I've done a little bit of off-camera work, and the space platform is now completely self-sufficient. Your cam's stuck, says STFC? Oh, don't tell me. It doesn't look like it is. Is there a camera problem? I'm not seeing it on the live preview. Back to normal now. Okay, just let me know if it happens again. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So what we've done is we've now modified the space platform to be completely self-sufficient. So we got a machine here that's producing bullets, and we've also got machines to produce space science. So now it's currently producing more bullets than it needs to destroy the asteroids, which means it's not going to get destroyed. So we don't need to worry about the space platform at all now. We can just let that do its thing indefinitely, which is very good news because it means that we can now concentrate on getting metallurgic science automated, which is the last thing we need to get artillery researched. Wraith2Toxic says, can you do a Sea of Thieves stream one day, Saul? I've never played Sea of Thieves, but if it's a good game, if you want to... thanks for the recommendation, I might consider checking it out. There's a lot of games that I want to play that I just haven't had the chance to yet. And obviously I'm always looking for recommendations. If you do have any suggestions, feel free. Hi, Taro Fox, how are you doing? One very quick thing that I need to mention is I am waiting for a package again. It's not for me this time. Well, it is for me. I bought it, but it's a Christmas present for my nephew. It's the first Christmas present I've bought actually this year, so my Christmas shopping has officially started. But I bought him some Lego Duplo for Christmas. The camera's frozen again. Okay, if the camera keeps freezing, I'm sorry. There's not really anything I can do about it. But I keep checking the preview and it looks fine on there. So if it freezes on your end every now and then, I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about it. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I might have to dash off to the door again at some point within the next hour because I am waiting on a package again. In fact, I should probably have the tracker open just so I can keep an eye on it. But anyway, let's get into the actual game. Okay, we're so all over the place right now. Just getting this stream just even launching this stream today was such a struggle. I've got like 50 million things on at the minute. But we're going to try and concentrate on the game. But we're going to try and concentrate on the game. Try GTA roleplay, says LJH1. I'm not really into GTA RP. I'd be interested in single player. When GTA 6 comes out, I'm definitely going to be streaming the campaign on that game, the single player. But I'm not really into GTA RP. I've never really been into multiplayer on GTA. But anyway, back to the game. I've said that about 5 times, but we are actually going to get started now. So we are going to be trying to get artillery research today, which means we need more metallurgic science, which means we need more tungsten. Now, currently, there are 2 ways that we can get tungsten. We can get it from large boulders. There's some large boulders around somewhere. We have cleared out most of the large boulders near us at this point, so it's going to get trickier and trickier to collect tungsten that way. Oh, there's some here. There we go. So we can mine these large boulders. These do contain a little bit of tungsten, but not in any significant quantity. They usually contain like 5 to 10 pieces each. The other way we can get tungsten is by heading out into the lava field over here with a big mining drill. But we can't do that because of these guys. There's one right here, just to prove my point. So these guys are Demolishers. They're basically giant lava worm things. They're incredibly destructive, and they hate any sort of construction that we might do. So as soon as I place down a mining drill, for example... Oh, can only be built on resources. As soon as I place down a furnace... this guy is going to turn around and charge straight at it, because, yep, there he goes, he's turning around. So anything we build in this area, these worms will attack it straight away, which is why it's very difficult for us to mine tungsten using that method. Now, this is why we're doing the artillery research, because once we've researched artillery, we can use that to destroy some of the big worms, and then we can get in with our big mining drills. So for now, like I say, the only 2 options really for collecting tungsten at the minute are to either collect it from the large boulders, which is going to take ages, or we can just sneak out into the lava field, mine as much as we can, and then get back to safety before we get attacked. Which is also going to be very slow, but again, it's either slow method A or slow method B. We have to do one of those to be able to get enough tungsten to do the research that we need to then be able to do our artillery. Cam frozen. Yeah, I'm aware of the camera trouble today. Sorry, nothing I can do about it. We already started the stream half an hour late. I'm not gonna waste any more time trying to fiddle with the camera. Oh shit! I've just destroyed a mining drill. Whoops. But yeah, honestly, it's been a struggle to even get this stream to go ahead at all today, because as I've said many times already, my sister's coming tomorrow, so been tidying the house up today. She's coming for a week with my nephew, so I've been tidying the house up today. I've also had to take another passport photo today. Would you believe it's actually been so long now since my passport application that they've actually asked me to submit a more up-to-date photo. So that's nice. So I had to take another passport photo today. That's why I'm not wearing any makeup today, by the way. So anyone out there who thinks that I look really pale because I wear too much foundation, here's the proof that that's not the case. I really am just that pale. Okay, we'll get a little bit of tungsten from these. But yeah, with all that going on, you're lucky that you've even got a stream today. I can't lie. I had to try my best to get a stream out today, though, because obviously I'm not going to be streaming while my sister's here, which means there's not really going to be any more streams for the rest of the month after today. So I really, really wanted to at least get something out today, even though it may not be up to my usual stream quality. It's a little bit last minute and a little bit rushed, and there will be a few problems. such as my camera being frozen, which everyone is reminding me about right now. Let me just check. The thing is, every time someone says my camera's frozen and I check the preview, it's not frozen. So if it just keeps freezing here and there just for a few seconds, that's not really that big of a deal to me, to be quite honest. I'm sorry, you know, like I say, there's not really much that I can do about it. But it seems like every time someone says it's frozen and then I check, it's not frozen. So if it's only doing it for a couple of seconds every now and then, I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's every time you're on the game. Hold on, let me... Nope, I'm checking the live preview and I'm playing the game right now, and it's not frozen. So it just happens randomly, I'm guessing. Anyway, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It is what it is. You know what, actually, it's not a very graphically demanding game. I might as well just keep the preview on the whole time while I'm playing, and then I can keep a constant eye on it. God, my hair's all over the place today as well. I'm so sorry. This might be my least professional stream ever. When you keep the preview on, it stops. That's so weird. So when I turn off the preview, it causes the camera to freeze. That's such a strange bug that I've never encountered before. But in fairness, TikTok Studio did have quite a big update today, just before I was streaming. So maybe they've added in a very helpful bug where the camera freezes whenever you turn off the preview. Sounds like that's what it is. But yeah, fortunately we're playing a game that's not exactly very graphically intensive, so I can keep the preview open. Okay, we're right on the edge of the lava zone now. I don't want to accidentally wander over into that territory because we may get attacked. Okay, we've got 324 tungsten. That's not bad. We'll get a bit more from over here. The thing is, we need so much of it. We need another... Well, we're about 30-40%. So we're going to need about another 700 metallurgic science. But the problem is, for each metallurgic science pack, we need 5 pieces of tungsten. So if we need 700 tungsten... No, wait. We need 4 tungsten per tungsten plate, and we need 2 tungsten per tungsten carbide. So we need 14 pieces of tungsten per metallurgic science pack. We need 14 times 700, which is, I think, 2,100. That's how much tungsten we need. And we've currently got 360. Just to give you some idea of the scale of the problem. Okay, 400. We'll put that in now. and while it's processing, we can go and get some more. The thing is, as long as the machine keeps operating, you know, as long as it's never just idling, then we're good. That's the one thing about Factorio, is you've got to try and make sure that your machines are never idling. Even if you're not doing any research at any given moment, you should still be producing the science packs that you're gonna need for when you next do research, you know what I mean? And right now, there's a lot of machines idling. So let's get this tungsten processed. Now, what I've been doing is a roughly 50-50 split between the tungsten plates and the tungsten carbide, but actually we need... The tungsten carbide, I think, requires slightly more tungsten than the... No, the tungsten plates require more than the tungsten carbide. So let's put... We've got 4, 5, 6, 7... We got 8 stacks. Let's put 4 stacks. We'll put the 4 full stacks in here and the 1 stack that's not quite full. And then we'll put the other 3 stacks in for tungsten carbide. And hopefully that'll be the correct ratio. There we go. And then all the spare, because all these boulders contain iron and copper and stone as well. All the spare I've just been throwing into this machine here. Although for some reason it's not processing. There we go. Hold on, let me take some of this out. We might need another chest for all this crap, actually. Let's make a steel chest. Got a bit more space in it, and just throw all of that in. And pop an inserter there, and we're good. Okay, how's the space station looking? Afternoon, Saul. Sorry, not watching, too busy. No worries, Charlie. Thanks for stopping by anyway. Thanks for popping in. Your live streams make me feel so chilled out. Thank you, Alistair. That's what I aim for. You know, I've always said, for me personally, when I watch someone else stream, I always want... I just want to chill, you know? I just want to see them play the game, have a nice chat. So I try to do the same thing. I try to keep the atmosphere chill, you know. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes we do get certain people in the chat who just want to be argumentative for the sake of it. But yeah, I try to keep it nice and laid back. Love the new video. Thank you, Charlie. That's very kind of you. Yeah. Oh, my newest video, the coming out video. I'm so proud of that. I feel like every time I make a new video, I feel, you know, that's... Wow, I'm so proud of this video. This is my best video. And then I do another video and I'm like, wow, no, this one's even better. You know, like every video I make, it feels like my baby, you know, I feel so proud of. But this one in particular, obviously a very special and important video for me. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And thank you for the roses. Okay, what are we doing? The research. Research is happening again. Look at that. Hey, we're researching again. Okay, speaking of videos, by the way, there is at least one video is going to be posted next week. If you're not familiar, if you haven't been watching recently, I am going to be taking a break next week because my sister and my nephew are coming to visit for the week. So there's going to be no live streams next week, but I will be posting a video, which will be my review of the Lego Game Boy. I've written the script for it. It just needs recording and then obviously editing together. But that video will be coming next week, and then in November, I've got some plans. I've got some big, exciting video ideas for November. No spoilers. But we're getting to that time now. You know, we're coming up towards the end of the year, and I've been thinking to myself, you know, what am I going to do differently next year? What am I going to keep? What am I going to change with regards to my videos and live streams and stuff like that? And I've got some ideas. I've got some very interesting ideas for videos and live streams for next year. So yeah, we're gonna sort of test the waters a little bit for the rest of this year, and I'm gonna try and put out some different videos, some stuff that I haven't done before. Because the Peak District videos, those were a big gamble. Like, I had no idea how they were going to be received, but they went down so well. I'm so happy that I took a chance on those. The reception to those videos has been so incredible, and I think I need to take more risks like that. I need to do more. You know, I need to say, you know, I'm going to do a video that I've never done before, and it's going to be completely different to everything I've ever done before. And I've got a lot of ideas. So, yeah, moving forwards, there's going to be a lot of new and interesting videos coming very soon. Right, I am just kind of wandering around doing nothing at the minute, because my machines are working and I'm kind of redundant. I guess we'll go and mine some more boulders. We'll go get some more tungsten. When in doubt, mine tungsten. In fact, let's head out to the lava field this time and get the big mining drill out for a bit. Okay, just skirt around this lava here. Any leviathans about? I don't see any. Okay. Oh, we don't have any solar panels. Shit. I sent them all up to the space station, didn't I? Hold on, we need to get some solar panels. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to getting off this planet now. I do like Vulcanus. It's been an interesting challenge. But I feel like we've been here for so long now. We've been here for like the last 5 or 6 episodes, I think. I just want to get back to Nauvis. I want to get back to my home planet, sort this mess out, get rid of all of this crap that's everywhere. I'll feel a lot more comfortable when we get back to home base. And there's still like there's still 5 other planets that we haven't visited yet. No, 4. There's still 4 more planets that we haven't visited in this game. So I'm just kind of getting to the point now where I'm like, you know, Vulcanus is great, but can we see something else now? And I'm sure you're getting to that point as well. So hopefully we won't be messing around here on Vulcanus much longer. Hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves off to another planet soon. I don't know where we're going to go next, though. We got a few options. Are you a full-time streamer? Says Epic Tree. I'm not Epic Tree. I stream 3 times a week currently for 3 hours a time. It would be great if I could do this full-time. I don't really make enough money from this to do it full-time. I get the occasional gift, and I do have my Patreon supporters, who I am incredibly grateful for. But yeah, I don't really make any money doing this, so it's not something that I am currently able to do as a full-time job. But it would be great. It would be great if I could find success doing this, you know, and make something bigger out of it. As it is, I'm happy to just do it in my free time as a bit of fun, you know. Okay, back to the lava field again. And this time, we have the solar panels. Okay. Ready. You know what I should do? Hold on. I'm just going to pop these down real quick. But what I should do is save this as a blueprint. There we go. If I save this as a blueprint, then what I can do is we can just go out into the lava field and pop it down like this, and then place down the bits and pieces. It'll be so much quicker than manually setting it up like this every time. And of course it's just gotten dark, so the solar panels aren't working. Right, come on, come on. Let's get as much as we can and then get out. The Leviathan or Demolisher, whatever it is, could already be on its way to us. Okay, 16, 17. We could mine boulders at the same time, actually. Then we're getting tungsten from both methods at once, right? I mean, why just stand around waiting for the drill to mine for us when we can get some ourselves at the same time? Just as long as we don't wander too far, because we will need to run back to the mining drill and pick it up as soon as the Demolisher appears on the map. And I am keeping a close eye out for it. Stopped again, it's night. Very short day-night cycle on this planet, as we know. Which makes the solar panels not particularly effective. What game is this and how are you doing? This is Factorio Space Age, Mr. Quack. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How are you? But yeah, this Factorio Space Age, this is our 11th episode on this series. I was just saying, I'm looking forward to getting to a different planet, though, because we have been stuck on this planet for, like, the last 5 or 6 episodes. I'm just gonna... I'm sorry, I need to sort my hair out, because it's bugging me. I've got a real... I've got such a massive forehead. Let me just comb it down a bit. That's better. Just reduce the forehead a little bit. Okay, where were we? Okay, there's some boulders up here. I'm surprised the Leviathan hasn't turned up by now. I'm expecting it to show its face any second. I'm ready for it. Where is it? Right, I'm getting suspicious now. I feel like I might have actually made my hair look worse. Oh, there it is. Wait, is that in our sector? No, that's in the next sector. He can't get us. He can't come over here. So if we look on the map real quick, these guys can only stay in the sector that they, like, belong to. So that one there can't actually attack us, even though he's right next to us. However, this sector will have its own Leviathan, which will find us eventually. Is HRT hard to get, male to female, says Jax? I wouldn't say it's particularly hard. I mean, it depends which option you want to take, right? If you want to get it on the NHS, then yeah, it's quite difficult because you have to go on a waiting list, which is exceptionally long. Some clinics are literally giving waiting lists of 24 years at the minute. I don't know of anyone who's actually been waiting for that long. But I know people who are like just signing up and are being given that as an expected wait time, which is insane. It's just insane to even think that you would be made to wait 24 years for medical treatment. So I would say the NHS, probably not the best option. Going private is a lot easier, but it's quite expensive, is the thing. Like I say, I wouldn't say it's hard to get HRT by going private, but you do have to pay more, obviously, than getting it done on the NHS. So it kind of depends on your situation. For me personally, I am not really ready to start taking HRT anyway, so I haven't really looked into either route at this moment in time. Couldn't you get off someone that knows someone? That's a good point, Jax. Technically, you can DIY with HRT. It is not illegal. It's not illegal to just buy your own estrogen tablets or whatever and take them. With female to male, it's a little bit trickier because testosterone is a controlled substance. Obviously, it's technically a performance-enhancing drug or whatever you want to call it. So it's a lot harder to get testosterone for trans men if you want to go like the DIY route. But for trans women, estrogen is not too difficult to get. And again, it's not illegal. There's nothing to stop me from just buying my own estrogen from somewhere and taking it myself. It's not recommended to take that route because, you know, I'm not a doctor. How do I know that I'm taking the right dosage and stuff like that? So it's definitely only recommended as like a last resort for trans people. But it is an option. There are like networks that you can contact, and there's people who can help you get started with HRT if you do want to do it that way. Oh shit, worm! Worm! I didn't even realise we were driving right in towards one. Couldn't you get off? Oh, I know a bunch of people who buy testosterone for bodybuilding off randos. Yeah, again, like I say, I mean, there are channels that you can go through. For testosterone, those channels tend to be a bit more shady because, again, testosterone is a controlled substance. But for estrogen, it's really not that difficult to get, to be quite honest. Like I say, the only real problem is that you know, knowing the correct dosages and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we're not all doctors, you know. So again, most people don't recommend DIY, but it is an option if you really are desperate and you don't want to wait like a decade on the NHS and you can't afford to go to a private clinic. You can kind of just, you know, buy it yourself and take it yourself. But it's not recommended. Anyway, back to it. We've gathered a bit more tungsten. Not as much as I was hoping. We actually probably would have been quicker just going around and taking some more boulders apart. But we've got a bit more. Our artillery research is still only at 40%. Good God. You know, I am actually starting to think we won't even get this research done today. It's been so long. I just want artillery. I just want to be able to build a fucking railgun to take out these giant earthworms, lava worms, or whatever. I want weapons of mass destruction. Speaking of weapons of mass destruction, we can actually research nuclear weapons. We can get atomic bombs. And we don't need metallurgic science to do them. We only need space science. We could have done these. We could have done this. We could have done this like 3 weeks ago. Instead of pissing around with artillery, we could have had nuclear warheads by now. But no, we decided to go the artillery route instead. And we've already got 40% of the research done. It's too late to back out now. We'll do nukes another time. I also don't know if nukes are necessarily the best option because they, you know, leave quite a lot of impact on the land, shall we say? Although this planet is pretty much a wasteland already, so I don't really know how. I don't really think it'd be that big of a deal. We'll stick with the artillery. We've done enough work with the artillery at this point. We'll just carry on down this route. Okay. I guess we'll just go looking for more boulders. That's really all we can do at the minute, is just collect more boulders. There's some right here, which I didn't even notice. It's just such a slow process. And I have heard that you can destroy the Demolishers with like smaller weapons, but it requires a lot of ammunition. Like, we could, in theory, we could destroy one with just standard turrets, but we would need so many of them, and we'd need to supply so many bullets. Again, I just feel like we've invested enough time and effort into the artillery at this point, we might as well just stick with it. And it's the sunk cost fallacy, you know? We've invested too much time and resources into it to back out now. Okay, it's 41% research now. I'll get back in the tank, I think, and we'll go wandering again. Thing is, we've mined most of the rocks near the base at this point, so we're going to have to travel further and further each time we want to get more. Where's the tank? Oh, it's up there. Okay, let's see if we can find some more. Aha! There we go, didn't have to travel too far. Seems like a good supply here. There's actually an achievement in this game for completing the whole game whilst mining less than 200 items manually. How do you do that? How do you do that? How could you play this whole game, start to finish, and only mine 200 items without mining equipment? That's just so insane to me. There's also an achievement, I think, for completing it while only crafting a certain amount of items by hand. And we have crafted tens of thousands of items by hand at this point. We're not getting either of those achievements. Oh, the sun. I might have to go and shut my curtain in a minute if the sun's gonna start playing up. I'm just going to quickly check my tracking on my package again. Sorry. Okay, not here yet. Again, sorry, I am going to have to dash off when this package turns up, but it is a Christmas present, for my nephew. I've officially started my Christmas shopping. I don't normally like to start this early, but I've got so many people to buy for. I feel like it's easier to just get it over with and buy stuff as early as possible. Anyone else started their Christmas shopping yet? $300. Okay, that'll do. Let's head back again. We are now 45% on the artillery. Okay, so that means we've done 6% so far in today's stream. We're getting there. We're getting there. But it does mean there's another 55% to go, which is a lot. Okay, same again. We will put... I think it actually worked out better when we put more into the tungsten carbide than we did into the tungsten plates. So we'll do the same again. We'll put 4 stacks into the tungsten plate machine. Which needs moving, by the way. We need to put the tungsten plate machine somewhere else because it doesn't need to be right up here when the tungsten carbide machine is right down at the bottom. It just doesn't make sense for those two machines to be so far apart from each other. Oh, there's a rocket ready to launch. I don't think we actually have anything to send up at the minute. I'll double check in just a second. Okay. Space platform is looking good. I mean, look at this. 600 space science ready to be deployed. About 1,000 magazines. It's fine. After all the chaos of the last stream, trying to get that working, it's completely self-sufficient now. It doesn't actually need us to do anything, really, other than occasionally go up and send some of the space science down. And that space science, by the way, is arriving here. We've got a special landing pad now for the drop pods from the space station, and then they get carried over to our research center here, which is working again for the time being. But once again, it needs more tungsten, so back to the tank. And off we go again. You know what I want to research that we haven't researched yet? The Spidertron. I want to get the Spidertron. Oh, we can't do it yet. Oh, we need to get... We need... What research pack is that? What is that? Agricultural science. We need to go to Fulgora. No, Gleba. We need to go to Gleba to be able to get agricultural science, and then we can make the Spidertron. It's a giant spider robot thing. It's really cool. It would have been really useful here on Vulcanus, but we can't get it until we've been to another planet. So for now, we're stuck with the old-fashioned tank. Played Battlefield 6 yet? I haven't played Battlefield 6. No, I'm not really interested in playing Battlefield 6, to be honest. It's not, like, on my radar or anything like that, to be honest with you. Okay. 47% on the artillery now. It's slow progress, but it is progress. Okay, there's quite a lot down here. I swear to God, if I research this artillery and then it turns out that we need like 100 tungsten plates to actually make the artillery itself, I'm going to be really pissed off, because I've spent so much time collecting tungsten. It feels like just the only thing we've done for the last 3 streams in a row is mine tungsten boulders. I'm telling you, we better not need too much of it when we actually craft the artillery. That's all I'm saying. Okay, 200. I've lost track of how much we still need, to be honest. It was somewhere in the region of 2,000, if I remember correctly. But honestly, it's probably best to just not think about the numbers and just keep mining. Okay, we're near the danger area. We're entering the danger area. Oh, hold on. I heard a door slam. I think my package may be here. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me just check first. Back in a tick. We got a package again. Yay. But this one's not for me. Hold on. Let me just... Where's my knife? Oh, I don't need a knife. It's got one of those pull tabs on it. Okay. Oh, it's one of those where it's got pull tabs on every single side. There we go. And one more on this side. There we are. Okay. Let's open it up. There we go. It's Duplo. So obviously this isn't for me. It's a Christmas present for my nephew. But obviously, I mean, look around. You can see how obsessed I am with Lego. So I'm starting him off early with his own Lego. So I got him a fire engine. It's got it lights up. It's got light up sirens. It makes a sound. It makes noise. It's great. He's gonna love it. So there we go. That's my latest package. It's my nephew's Christmas present. Anyway, with that out of the way, back to the stream. Sorry to interrupt the flow. Sorry to interrupt the riveting gameplay of me mining boulders. But yeah, there we go. That's what I ordered. And with that, my first Christmas present has been bought. Now I just have to buy Christmas presents for my other 8 million family members. I've got a big family, which is, you know, it means I get a lot of presents at Christmas, but it also means I have to buy a lot of presents at Christmas. Looks good, thanks, Dagger. It's not his first Duplo set, by the way. I've already bought him a couple. for previous Christmases and birthdays. So, like I say, I've got him started early with the Lego, and also trains. I got him some wooden railway for his birthday last year, and some more for Christmas last year as well. So I've already got him into that as well. Okay, squeeze through here. Right, we're 48% done on the research. And we've got 7 stacks, I think. But we are running out of boulders. There aren't enough boulders in the world. What kind of games do you like? Says Jensen. Good question, Jensen. I'm a big fan of simulator games. You know, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know I'm very big on simulator games. Farming sim, train sim, Euro Truck, and so on and so forth. But I like logistical games as well. Stuff like this, like Factorio, and like Minecraft with the Create mod, where you're building these big factories and moving things around from place to place. I like stuff like Transport Tycoon, and any kind of game that involves like setting up logistics networks and moving stuff around. I love all that kind of stuff. I like sci-fi games, big fan of sci-fi. We have a series called Sci-Fi Sunday. At the minute I'm playing Oddworld Soulstorm, but big sci-fi fan. But yeah, that's just some of the games that I'm into. I like horror games as well, actually. We don't have a horror series at the minute, but I do enjoy horror games, and I have been considering starting a series for horror games next year. We'll have to see what becomes of that. What happened to Minecraft Monday? I never miss it. I'm usually quiet in the background. Yeah, there was no Minecraft Monday this week, Draydog, because we did Sci-Fi Sunday. So that's the thing with the 2-week schedule, is 1 week I'll do Minecraft and then the next week I won't. You'll be pleased to know, though, that when I come back in November, I think we're going to go back to a weekly schedule for the rest of the year. Because when I come back in November, there's only going to be 7 weeks left until Christmas. I know, daunting, isn't it? But there's only going to be 7 weeks of streaming left until I take my 2-week break, because I'll be taking 2 weeks off at Christmas. Forgive me for taking 2 weeks off at Christmas. But yeah, so from November till mid-December, I'm thinking we might bring back weekly streams. So like I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Friday every week. Maybe not those exact days. I'm still working it out. But either way, the schedule will be slightly different when I come back in November. Afternoon, Saul. No trucking today. Not today, Rich. Not on Thursday. Thursday is my Factorio day. We're playing Factorio Space Age. How was the trial run of 2 till 5, says Draydog? Not bad, actually. It worked out quite well for Euro Truck. I think I can see some benefit to it, I think. I don't know. I think we're probably going to stick with 3 till 6 for now. But it didn't. Like I say, the Euro Truck stream last week, that did go quite well, and that was 2 till 5. Maybe we'll try it again. You know, like I say, when I come back in November, we might try a few more of those 2 till 5 streams instead of 3 till 6. But honestly, I think things are all right the way they are now. To be honest, it was a nice experiment. It was a nice try. It might just work on certain games like Euro Truck. Exactly. It might just be that certain games people are more likely to watch at a certain time. That's just how it goes, you know. that being said, oh, Euro Truck, right. I have to mention about Euro Truck. For any Euro Truck fans out there, in case you missed the announcement, they are finally doing a rework of the UK in Euro Truck. They're finally updating the UK, which is huge, huge news. The UK currently is like the oldest part of the map that hasn't been updated. Pretty much everything from the original game has been redeveloped over the years, but the UK is one of the only parts of the map that hasn't been updated for a very long time. They finally announced just the other day that they are going to be reworking the UK, which is really, really great. They're going to be adding in new towns, new cities, new companies. They're actually going to be changing the scale of the UK so that it matches the rest of the map, because for some bizarre reason the UK in Euro Truck is at a scale of 1 to 19, but the rest of Europe is at a scale of 1 to 15. So they're going to be fixing that. They're going to be fixing the scale so that it's the same as all the other countries. Oh, no, the other way around, sorry. It's currently 1 to 15. They're going to be making it 1 to 19 so that it matches with the other countries in the game. But yeah, it looks very exciting. They've shared a few screenshots of Hastings, which is going to be a new town in the rework. It looks really good. They've put in so much detail. The road markings in particular are very, very good looking, very, very realistic looking. And for someone who lives in the UK, it is a shame when you play Euro Truck and you see how inaccurate the UK is, shall we say. I don't want to like shit all over the work that they have done on it, but it's showing its age. It's definitely showing its age compared to other parts of the map. So it's going to be very exciting to finally have a reworked UK. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they might finally add Ireland as well while they're working on the UK rework. Let's have a UK rework and an Ireland DLC at the same time. I mean, that would just be such perfect timing to get those two together, right? When's your next visit to the Lake District, says Draydog? I'm probably not going to be visiting the Peak District again this year. I did want to get one last visit in at the start of this month, but the weather... The weather's just changed too much. I've not been able to find a good day for it, and we're getting to that time of year now. It's going to be unlikely to happen for a while, so I don't think there's going to be another Peak District video this year at this point. That being said, there are a load more Peak District walks that I want to do. There's a load more places that I want to visit in the Peak District. I want to go to Frogger Edge. I want to visit Kinder Scout, which is the highest point in the Peak District. I want to walk the Monsell Trail and the Woodhead Trail. There's lots of other places. A lot of other places in the Peak District that I do want to visit. And as soon as the weather improves, sort of February, March kind of time, I will be straight back out there, and I will definitely be making some more videos. I'm planning some proper content for YouTube, some dangerous, risky shit. Well, not too risky, I hope, Draydog. Don't look after yourself. What sort of content are we talking? Okay, it's stuck at 48%, so I'm guessing we've run out of something. Probably tungsten, again. So close to 8,000. We are, P! How are you doing? We are very close to 8k, but we have been close to 8k for a while now, to be honest. I don't think we're going to reach 8k by the end of the year at this point. That being said, actually, but there's still another 9 or 10 weeks left of the year. There's still time. There's still time to get those last 500 followers. Maybe we could still get to 8k by the end of the year. Fingers crossed. It's an app called Randonautica. It sends you to a random location. People have been stalked on that app. I tried it actually way back in like 20. In fact, I think it was probably during lockdown actually. I tried it with my brother. It just ended up taking us to the woods, which, you know, when you it didn't really take us anywhere unfamiliar. I know it can do. I know it, like, the idea is that it takes you to places you haven't been before. But the problem is I tried it in my own town, and I've been everywhere here, so it just ended up taking me to somewhere that I was already familiar with. So I feel like maybe I didn't get the most potential out of it, you know. Did I leave my tank somewhere? I did. Whoops. Right. Oop. The app has a habit of taking you to woods, but you can change the radius so you're not going too far. Yeah, like I say, I feel like if I'd tried it somewhere a bit further away from where I lived, it might have been more interesting. But yeah, it just took me to somewhere that I'd already been before. Okay, mining drills. Some of these mining drills are starting to run out of coal, by the way. These coal deposits, they don't last very long, I notice. It seems that the mining drills are always running out. Okay. I was going to check something. I was going to check if the tungsten carbide is being moved. It isn't! Look at that! Brilliant. I was wondering why we weren't getting any through. For some fucking reason, the logistics robots just won't move stuff from that particular chest. I don't know why. Oh shit, we're low on molten copper. Why are we low on molten copper? Because this chest is full. Okay. Let's turn this into a red chest. P said, I wish I enjoyed walking. I was averaging 20 to 30k daily steps in Japan, but just not motivated at home. Probably the weather. I think you are right, P. Like I say, it's getting to that time of year now where, apart from like a quick walk, you know, just out into the country, just, you know, just down the lane or whatever, there's not really many places that I'm willing to go when the weather's like this. I don't want to go out into the Peak District and spend all day out there when the weather's the way it is, you know what I mean? But then when it gets sunny, you know, when summer comes around, I'll walk for miles and miles. You know, I love walking. Like you say, I think the weather does have a very big impact on it. Also, I didn't know you'd been to Japan, P. Did you live there, or a holiday? Business trip? What was it? This is the wrong way round. No, it's... Wait. No, wait. Hang on a minute. It's this machine that's backed up. Why? Because of the stone... Okay, there's always something. There's always fucking something with this game, I'm telling you. I mean, you've been here long enough, you've seen it by now. It was a holiday, got back 2 weeks ago, holiday of a lifetime if you do decide to visit. I mean, like I've said before, I'd like to live there. Not forever. Not the best place to live for trans people. I mean, I was literally just reading yesterday that Japan have elected their first female prime minister, which sounds great, but she's actually deeply conservative and she's opposed to gay marriage, among other things. I think Japan, it sort of... I don't know, I think it's kind of a generational thing, which I think is kind of the same here in the UK, where, like, the attitude of the younger generation is a lot more progressive than the older generation. I think the same is true in Japan, where it's not the best place to live as a gay or trans person from a legal standpoint, because the people that are making the laws are really old and they're from a generation that's very, you know, against that kind of thing. But I think the younger generation in Japan is a lot more open. It's just, you know, it is a country with a severely aging population. There aren't, you know, the young are outnumbered by the old. So you end up with this generational problem where even though a lot of younger people are more accepting, the older generation are kind of running the shop and they are a lot less accepting. Which, again, I think the same is kind of true here in the UK, to be quite honest. P says, I'm in a queer relationship and all rooms booked for us were twin beds instead of double. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like I say, I mean, there was a time, when I was younger, I could have seen myself living in Japan permanently. Like, when I was planning on going to Japan after university, part of me did wonder if I might end up staying there and becoming a permanent resident. Now, I don't think I could do that. I'd still love to live there for a year or two, but with the way things are over there, I'm not saying the UK is much better because things are pretty terrible here right now. But I just think in the current political climate, I don't think I'd want to live there permanently. Just for a year or two is my plan. It's definitely something that I still want to do though. It was easier for us to claim we were friends or sisters to avoid awkward combos. Yeah, I imagine so, P. Okay, one sec, just let me dump some of this. I did see several queer and trans people in the big cities, though, which was reassuring. Yeah, I think in the cities you're more likely, obviously, to find queer people. Again, same here in the UK, really. You know, being gay or trans in a small village is never going to be easy because you may well be the only visibly queer person in that community. Okay. Right, this seems to be working a bit better now. We are going to run out of tungsten again quite soon, so I'm going to go mining again. But research is happening. We're now at 51% on the artillery. And we got an hour and a half left, so we could we could get it done today, I think. Okay, let's head northeast. I don't think we've been northeast yet. Wow. There's absolutely nothing here. Okay, that's probably why we didn't go northeast. Hey, Wormy, how are you doing, guy? Hello. The thing is, they don't even seem violent towards the player. Like, even if I just stand right here, he just doesn't seem interested. I think it really is, they only really care when you start building stuff. I wonder if mining stuff attracts them. No. Look, he doesn't care. He's chill. He's a chill guy. So they literally only care when you start building stuff. As soon as I put something down, it'll start attacking me. But where, you know, as long as I'm just... Which makes me feel bad about the fact that we are gonna have to kill him. I mean, it has to happen. I'm sorry. We've got to get rid of him at some point because we need to build in this area. I'm sorry, guy. Like, you actually seem pretty chill. Just living his best life, exactly. Don't wander too far away from the tank again, Saul. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's rocks everywhere up here. Okay, this is actually a really good area. Let's get over there. Is there any content for YouTube and TikTok you're thinking of doing? Says Draydog. There is Draydog. Yeah, I've got some big plans actually. Going forwards. I was saying earlier, it's getting to that time now where we're coming up to the end of the year and I'm starting to think about what I am happy with this year and what I've maybe regretted a little bit this year, and I'm starting to think about what I want to do differently next year in terms of videos and live streams. And I do have a lot of ideas. There's a lot of new videos. A lot of new video ideas that I want to do. There's a lot of new streaming stuff that I want to do as well. I was talking earlier about how I'd like to start doing a horror series on Wednesdays, because I really love horror games and we haven't really played many of them or had much opportunity to play them yet. But in terms of video stuff, I really want to start talking about some of my other hobbies, which I kind of have done this year. Like this year, for the first time, I did some walking videos. I, started doing spider videos and stuff like that. I really have talked about my hobbies a lot more this year, and I want to keep that up. There's still so many things that I haven't even talked about yet. I haven't really made any videos talking about my love of trains, for example, or my interest in music. As someone who's posted quite a lot of piano videos, I've never actually posted any videos where I talk about music, and talk about what kind of music I'm into and what kind of genres I like, and talking about like influential pieces of music or iconic pieces of music. That's definitely something that I'd like to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of videos. Basically, there's a lot of videos still to make. I'm definitely nowhere near done. I've always got new ideas on the way. There's Randonautica you can do for YouTube. Just don't do any negative intents. That's where problems start. Yeah, I probably won't do anything like that, Dre Dog, to be honest. See, when I go out for a walk, I like to know exactly where I'm going beforehand, is the thing. Those Peak District videos, you would not believe how meticulously I plan those videos. Like, seriously, I account for every single step. Because I really... I don't know, I've always been kind of paranoid about the idea of getting lost. I know the Peak District's not... You know, it's not very easy to get lost in the Peak District. It's not a very big place, but I still, you know, whenever I go somewhere like that, I always want to know exactly where I'm going, and I really do like meticulously plan my journey beforehand. So Randonauting, not really my cup of tea, I'll be honest. Have you ever done geocaching? I haven't, P. I haven't. I guess that could be something that I'd be interested in. Again, I'm not really a fan of the you know, visiting places I've never been aspect. I like to know what I'm getting myself into beforehand. But the idea of geocaching is pretty cool. The idea of basically doing like almost like a scavenger hunt where you hide something for someone else to find. That I think it's a really cool concept. Out of curiosity, I randomly searched how much woodland there is in the UK. There's at least 13%. Yeah, there is... The thing about the UK's woodlands these days, though, is that most of it is for logging. There's so little natural woodland left, which is such a shame. Like, near where I live, there's quite a big wood area, and it used to be natural. But then it got bought out for logging about like 10 years ago, I think. And they just essentially just completely demolished all the existing trees and planted, you know, trees for logging. I don't know which trees specifically. I'm not an expert on trees. But like you walk up to the woodland now, and like 10 years ago you would have walked up there and it'd just be this beautiful, natural landscape. You go up there now, and it's just like row after row of perfectly straight trees, just in a giant grid. It's lost all of its natural charm. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing. Like there is a lot of woodland in the UK, but a lot of it is for logging purposes. And it just doesn't have the same appeal as natural woodland. There's very, very little natural woodland left, unfortunately. Man, look at all that tungsten. Okay, let's head back to base. We got quite a bit under our belt now. Oh, there he is again. Hey, Wormy. How you doing, guy? Oh no, sorry. That's a weird damage attack, right? Like it seems like electrical. You'd think that driving over this like lava would like set the truck on fire or something, but it gives it like this electrical damage, which is really odd. Can he smash through your builds? He can, P, yes. That's why we need to get rid of him, unfortunately. Like over here, for example, is a huge tungsten deposit, but we can't mine it because it's guarded by one of those demolishers. And if you build anything, it will attack it straight away. They can't leave their, like, marked areas, so this area around the base is safe. But anywhere in the red area, they can attack. I'll just show you. If we head up here and try to place something down, he will attack it straight away. There we go, let's give it a test. There we go, look at that. Straight on it. Solar panel. Oh, he hasn't noticed the solar panel. Oh, he has. Yep, yep. Here he comes. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't build anything within their territory because they will attack it straight away. That's why we need to clear a couple of them out so that we can actually build in those areas. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's got to be done. We can't progress without killing at least one or two of them. I will try to minimize the damage as much as possible, but like I say, at least one of them is going to have to be killed for us to be able to make any progress. Which is, you know, circle of life, nature, innit? We got so much iron and copper, man. There's a forest near me, a big chunk of it's privately owned, which doesn't give much for public. Yeah, that is a shame, Draydog. Something similar happened near me as well. Like I say, the woodland near me got bought out for logging about 10 years ago. There was a public footpath that ran straight through the wood, and they did attempt to close it. They attempted to get the footpath closed. But after enough protest from the locals, they were not allowed to do that. So the footpath is still open. You can still walk through it. I think the thing about public footpaths is you can have them removed if you can prove that they have below a certain amount of foot traffic. Like, basically, if you can prove that nobody uses the footpath, then you can have it closed down, I think, or something along those lines. But yeah, enough people complained, and enough people, you know, indicated that they do use the footpath, so they ended up having to keep it open, which is good because it should still be open. I'm a firm believer in right to roam, like they have in Scotland. I really do think that we need to have that here in England. Whenever you talk about right to roam, there's always going to be someone who gets pissy about it because they're going to be like, "Oh, you want me to just let people wander through my back garden?" Like, no, that's not what right to roam means. Like, it doesn't mean that anyone can just walk onto your private property. That's not how it works. Right to roam basically just means like farmland and stuff like that, and like big privately owned estates. You are allowed to access them as long as you're like just passing through. That's basically what right to roam is, and I think it's a great idea. Like I say, they have it in Scotland. In Scotland, there's really no such thing as trespassing, with the exception of like people's actual houses and stuff like that. And I think we should have a similar system here. There's so much land in this country that you are not allowed to visit. Like your own land, your own country. There's so much of it that you just aren't allowed to go to because it's owned by a private individual. And again, I'm not talking about like people's houses and people's back gardens and stuff like that. I'm talking about people who have inherited huge amounts of land through generational wealth, and they've just got acres and acres of fields that we're not allowed near. We're not allowed on them at all. And I hate that. I really do believe that right to roam is something that we should have here in England. Roaming isn't hurting anyone as long as people are respectful and sensible. Exactly, P. That's my thing. As long as people are respectful about it, as long as people are just passing through and respecting the area, that's fine. That's how it should be, right? Again, it's our country. You know, why should hundreds of acres of land be inaccessible to me just because some other guy inherited it from his parents? You know, It just doesn't make sense. Wild camping is illegal in the UK and legal in Scotland. People wild camp regardless if it's illegal or not. That is also very true, Draydog. I'm not saying that people don't, like, roam onto lands that they're not allowed to be on. I'm just saying that they should be allowed to be on it, you know what I mean? Like, again, people will roam. Whether they're allowed to or not, people will do it. And I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be allowed to do it, you know? Oh my god, these coal mining drills are running out so quickly. Trespassing is a civil matter. Police only get involved if people are being difficult about leaving. That's also very true, Draydog, yes. So trespassing, in the UK, trespassing is not a crime. It is not against the law to trespass. It's a civil matter, like you say. So it's really... Like you can't be arrested for trespassing. You can be arrested for doing other things while trespassing. Like you can be arrested for disrespecting people's land and like littering or property damage or graffiti or whatever else. But you can't actually be charged for trespassing itself because it's technically not illegal. What if someone put up a tent in your garden, says Blue. Thank you, Blue, for proving my point. I literally said just 5 minutes ago that someone was going to bring this up. Nobody is saying that you should let people put tents up in your back garden. There is a big difference between someone who owns hundreds of acres of private land and your own back garden. Nobody who is advocating for right to roam is advocating for you to open up your garden for people to trespass on. Nobody actually wants that. Like I say, private property is one thing. The place where you actually live is one thing, and that should be respected. It's more when people have got huge estates that people aren't allowed anywhere near. That's when it becomes a problem. What game is this, says Dan? This is Factorio Space Age, Dan. Where are we, by the way? Artillery's now at 61%. You know what? I'm thinking we might just get it fully researched by the end of this stream. We are, for some reason, not producing utility science, though. I'm not sure why. Not enough green circuits. Why are we not making green circuits? Iron. Why are we not making iron? Okay, we are making iron. Strange. So it says that we're not producing enough iron, but it seems like iron production is running smoothly. I guess maybe we're just using too much iron, so there's not enough for the green circuit production. We could set up another foundry for iron. In fact, I don't think we need this foundry for copper wire. I think one is enough for the time being. So we'll borrow this one from here. We'll pop it up here. It's not going to fit next to the others because there's a big rock in the way, so we're going to have to put it slightly further up, which is very annoying. But we'll set this one to produce iron. Another game I fear I could quite easily spend many, many hours playing. Oh, you would, P, you would, honestly. It's such an addictive game. Again, you ask anyone who plays Factorio, they will tell you it's It's addictive. It really is addictive. I mean, in certain corners of the community, they do call it Cracktorio, which I think says it all, really. Like, once you start playing this game, you will not be able to stop. Like, when I first got this game, because I was a bit apprehensive about this game at first, because it's £30. It costs £30 to buy, which I thought seemed a bit steep. I thought, like, is it really worth £30? But they have a free demo. And I played the free demo. And I played it for an entire weekend. Like, I sat down, played the demo for literally an entire weekend straight. And then I bought the full game. Like, it just... I was not expecting it to be what it was, to be honest. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And like I say, at first I thought, is it really worth £30? It's worth £30. It is worth £30. It's worth £60 with the amount of time that you will spend on it. Oh shit, I haven't... We need to put down a provider chest to unload the iron plates too, don't we? It has a lot of playability for the price, it seems. It really does. It really does. It is my... I think my second most played game on Steam. It's third. It's currently my third most played game after Train Simulator and Euro Truck. I have 436 hours in this game. Which, you know, most Factorio players would call that amateur, to be perfectly honest. Okay, hopefully that solved the green circuit problem. I'm just going to watch for a minute and see if that increases production. Okay. I mean, it's doing something. We're still not quite producing as many as we could be. What about some productivity modules? Oh, that's... Hang on a minute. Okay, there we go. It wasn't connected up properly, that's the problem. That's better. Okay, yeah, if we put some productivity modules in there... Speed things up a bit. What's going on now? Okay. I think we're up and running again. No. Right, why is it... Oh... Okay. Okay, there's nowhere for these to unload to. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So there wasn't enough output space for the stone, was the problem. Should be fixed now. I think what we need to do is balance the belt so that we get stone on both sides. If we put a splitter here, we want half of it to go this way so that it can be taken up by the iron furnace there, and then half of it to go back onto the belt again. Will that work? No, it won't, because it's actually putting the stone on the wrong side of the splitter, so it's not actually splitting the output. Okay, let's try this. No, that won't work either. Okay, what about this? Okay, that's not going to work either. Fuck. Can we, What we need to do is we need to split it so that half of the stone goes onto the left side of the belt and half of it goes onto the right side of the belt. At the minute, it's putting it all on one side, which is causing a backlog. Sorry. Yeah, it's causing quite a big backlog, so what we really need to do is there we go. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we got stone on both sides. What's wrong, buddy? Having a little trouble? Odd. I'm going to manually clear this backlog as well. I see. So, okay, I see what the other problem is. The other problem is that this loader here is only picking stuff up from the right-hand side. So can we replace that with a bulk inserter, maybe? That'll... Aha! We're producing iron plates again, though. That's good news. Yes! Okay, good stuff. Okay, we're back on track with that. Now to make a bulk inserter. Hold on. That's better. Look at that. Now that's picking up from both sides. That's what we need. Okay, now we're talking. God, it works so fast. I think you can also upgrade the stack size of these as well. Let me just check the research tree. Yeah, bulk inserter. There is a stack size, right? Yeah, stack inserter, which is different from a bulk inserter. Oh, this is interesting. So we can actually make an inserter that puts stacks on the belt. So obviously, the bulk inserter can pick up multiple items at once, but it can still only put them down one at a time. You can see here, it's picking up like 8 pieces of stone, but then it's putting them down one at a time. So if we get the stack inserter, it can actually put the whole stack down on the belt. That will massively increase the capacity of the belts. We need to get that researched. Hold on a second. Where's it gone? Agricultural science. We need to visit Gleba. I think that's going to be the next planet that we visit. Because it seems like there's a lot of useful research that can be done from Gleba. Transport belts and stack inserters definitely are worth it. Biolab? Ooh. Oh, that lets us cultivate biter DNA, which will be very handy in future. Yeah, I think Gleba, fish breeding. Wow. I think Gleba's going to be the next planet that we visit. It seems like the best option. Okay, let's take these out. Are we doing science again? We are indeed. That's good news. Okay, research is at 62%. What are we low on? We are low on utility science again. So there's still a backlog here for utility science, but I think it's mostly because we had that green circuit problem. If we just fill this full of speed modules, let's just get 4 speed modules and dump them in there and see what it does. No, I didn't want to make a tank. Copper. There we go. I think this machine might need to be turned off. No. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, we're making speed modules. They are quite slow to craft. If only we had a machine for those. We do have a machine for productivity modules. We are making those as part of the production science. So we could borrow those if we need them elsewhere. In fact, I think I'll do that. I think I'll just grab a couple. We're running low on red circuits. Why? Why are we not producing red circuits? Not enough copper wire. Okay, that's why we had 2 foundries for copper wire, isn't it? You know what that means? It means we're going to have to move this foundry back down there again. But then if we do that, we're not going to... Let's make another foundry. We need 50 tungsten carbide. Fuck that. We're using an assembling machine. We got copper plates here that are being made by this foundry. We can just put down an assembling machine to turn that into copper cables. Two inserters. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put speed modules in these 2 here, just so that we can get a bit more utility science. One more of those. We are at 64%, so we're doing good. I still don't think the research is going to be finished today, which is very unfortunate. But we're getting closer. Come on, these take so long to craft. Any second. Oh my god, they're so slow. There we go. Okay, we've put speed modules in. That should increase how quickly we produce utility science. And we are now out of metallurgic science again, which means more mining boulders. Yay! My favourite pastime here on Volcanus is, of course, mining boulders. Very, very fun. Very exciting activity that I enjoy quite a lot. So let's go and do some more of it. Why not? Where's my tank? It's way up there, obviously. Okay, I think we'll head north again. There's quite a lot up there. In terms of rocks, there's quite a lot up there. In terms of everything else, there's fuck all up here, really. But there's plenty of rocks. That's what we really need. So, okay, my tank appears to be leaving without me. Please don't go too far, tank. Hey, Marika, how's the Factorio? It's very good, thank you. How are you doing? We're still working on our research for artillery, but we are at 64%, so it's going quite well. We still need more tungsten, though, as always. Yep, nothing changes. Always could use more tungsten. Well, once we got the mining drill sorted, once we got the artillery sorted, we can use the big mining drill to get tungsten, and then we'll never have to worry about it again. But it's easier said than done, obviously. Wait, is there iron and... Oh, that's calcite. I was going to say, there's no iron on this planet, is there? I'm at work, but I need to start moving out of my place when I get out here. Oh, you're moving, Marika. Nice one. Hope it all goes smoothly. I hate moving. Such a stressful thing to do. But hopefully there's no problems. Hey, there's our boy again. How you doing, man? I wonder if they can actually go through walls, because I've not seen them go through walls. Let's just test it. Okay, yeah, they can go through walls. They can destroy walls. Oh my god, that's useful as hell. They can actually destroy the walls. And presumably they never come back. That's really handy. We can use these to our advantage. We can use these to clear walls for us. That is incredibly useful. Okay, let's test it again. Okay, come over here, guy. Here, boy. Yep. Oh, we're not in his territory. We're outside his zone. Okay, hold on. I don't think there are many other walls around here, to be honest. Okay, I think we're safe here. God, look at them chompers. He's a big boy. This is a small demolisher, by the way. This is a small demolisher. They get bigger than this. Oh, they get bigger than this. All right. This is a small boy. Little babby. He just can't help himself, though. It's not his fault. Oh my god, this is so tedious. Oh, I'm going insane. I'm losing my mind. Just finishing dinner up. Nice one, Charlie. What have you had? We like you sane, says Marika. Honestly, Marika, I haven't been sane this whole time. Turns out it was insanity all along. I mean, that is what most people think anyway. You know, judging by some of the comments that I receive here on TikTok, most people do tend to think that I am insane, just because I'm transgender and therefore insanity. You know the logic these people operate on. But yeah, what you having for dinner, Charlie? I don't know what I'm having tonight. My brother's not here today. It's just me for dinner, so don't know. I don't know what I fancy. Well, I'll tell you what I fancy. What I fancy is a McDonald's, but I can't afford a McDonald's today. I really fancy a McDonald's because they've just they've brought back Great Tastes of the World, so they've got some new burgers on. They've got an Australian one which has got pineapple on it, and I am a sucker for pineapple on savoury foods. I'm a big pineapple on pizza enjoyer. Shoot me. So pineapple on a burger, I will eat that shit up. But they've also got a maple bacon burger, which I'm guessing is Canadian. That looks really nice as well. So it's tempting. It's tempting. Maybe on Monday. But the thing is, on Monday my sister's going to be here, which means McDonald's is going to be significantly more expensive because we're going to have to get enough for everyone, right? This is my last chance to have a McDonald's just to myself before the whole family shows up, right? So, should I bite the bullet and get a maple bacon burger? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Honestly, you would have to be insane to look at my bank account and then decide to get a McDonald's anyway. But as we've previously mentioned, I do have a few screws loose. Pie, mash and jelly deals, says Marika. I've never actually had jelly deals. Fun fact. I've had eel nigiri. I've had eel sushi. But I've never had eels British style. I can safely say. And I don't think I'd want to be honest. It's not... doesn't seem that appealing to me. I'm not a big fan of... not a big fan of slimy foods. I can't lie. I want to try spicy nuggets, says Draydog. Oh, yeah, I think I tried the spicy nuggets last time they were on, and they were really good. They really were. One of my favourite things at McDonald's is the cheese bites. Doesn't matter what it is, you know, mozzarella, cheddar, they always have, no matter what the current promo is, they always have some kind of cheese bites. And they're so good. They're so good. As far as I'm concerned, nothing should be jellied except for jelly, says P. I'm with you on that one, P. Mind you, pork pie I am a jelly enjoyer when it comes to pork pie. I don't think a pork pie is complete without jelly. Some people like, some people aren't big fans of jelly. Some people like a pork pie without jelly. But me personally, jelly is part of the pork pie experience for me. It's probably the only instance of savoury jelly that I can get behind, you know. Pork pie. Okay, P. I'll wipe your name off the boards. I'll do it. P says pork pie is rancid. No. I won't take this slander against pork pies in my TikTok chat. I'm sorry. Is this just 2D Satisfactory, says Son? Kind of, yeah. I mean, this came first, so it'd be more accurate to say Satisfactory is 3D Factorio. But yeah, they're very similar games, they're very similar concepts. I'd be down to try pork pie, says Marika. Honestly, Marika, you would love it. What you do is, you take a solid lump of pork. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It's not like a regular pie where it's like chopped up bits of pork in gravy. You just take a solid fucking chunk of pork, surround it with pastry, and also put a layer of jelly in there as well. So pork, bit of jelly, encase the whole thing in pastry. You got a pork pie. It's so simple, but so good. It's kind of like a sausage roll. It is quite similar to a sausage roll, actually. I mean, it's a different kind of pastry, and obviously sausage rolls don't have jelly, but it's kind of in the same vein. It's just a big chunk of meat encased in pastry. So if you've had a sausage roll, I think they're more of a British thing as well, though. So maybe you haven't had sausage rolls either, but they're kind of in a similar. I'd put them in a similar vein. Anyway, I've been yakking on about pork pies. I've got a load of tungsten here that we need to drop off. Why not play Satisfactory? I feel like it's more immersive, says Son. I mean, I disagree, Son, to be quite honest. I get your point. I get why a lot of people prefer Satisfactory because it's 3D, so it like really puts you in the environment. But I don't think. I mean, I guess it technically is more immersive, yeah, but I don't think that on its own makes for a better experience. I really love Factorio. It. Like you say, it might not be as immersive because you're not like in, you can't like it's not first person basically. I think that's the big thing that makes Satisfactory more immersive, which I understand. But you'd be surprised how engaging this game is. Like it might not be immersive in that way, but it immerses you in other ways. It's just so addictive that you really get engaged with it. Like, it doesn't need to be super immersive, because it hooks you in other ways, But I get your point. I do get your point. And there's certainly people out there who prefer Satisfactory to Factorio, which I don't have a problem with. But for me personally, this one is the superior game, in my humble opinion. You're so northern, says P. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. A pork beef Wellington, says Marika. Kind of. It's kind of in that area, yeah. I mean, I can't argue with it, to be honest. If I'm saying that a pork pie and a sausage roll are essentially the same thing, then I guess a beef Wellington is as well, yeah. Like I say, the only real difference is the type of pastry, right? Sausage rolls are usually flaky pastry, whereas pork pies are normally short crust, and then obviously pork pies normally have jelly as well. But apart from that, they're kind of just the same thing. How are we doing on the research? I need to dump off some of this iron and copper again. We've mined so many boulders that we now have 4 steel chests filled to the brim with iron, copper, and stone. Because every time we want to get a bit of tungsten, we have to get 50 of each of them at the same time. How's the space station doing? We haven't checked on that for a while. Okay, doing good. The bullet production is really, really doing well. We'll send down some space science. And if you haven't seen it already, here's the landing pad in action. Down it comes. There we go. And there's our space science. Lovely. I've been giving YouTube and TikTok a go for at least a year. It feels like I'm not getting anywhere, says Draydog. I mean, you kind of just have to persevere, you know. It's as tough as it sounds. It is tough. I mean, I think I honestly I think a lot of people don't realize how long I was on TikTok before it really started to take off. I've been on TikTok for 5 years. I first started posting my piano videos way back in 2020, and for like the first 3.5 years that I was doing it, I had almost no growth. I mean, I had like this time 2 years ago, I had 250 followers. But then when I shifted up and, you know, shifted focus and started doing the trans-focused content, it just exploded. And I won't deny that growth has slowed down recently. I don't get as many views or follows now as I was this time last year. But that big burst of support back then was really what kicked this whole thing off, you know. I think that's kind of how it goes on social media, you know, on streaming platforms and video platforms like TikTok and YouTube. Even with the best will in the world and with as much perseverance as possible, you still need a break, you know. You still need that one video to just take off. Anyone who says otherwise, I think, is really, I don't want to say lying, but, you know, I genuinely think, like, perseverance, yes. Perseverance is very important. Putting in a lot of time and effort and passion into your content is very important, but you do need a little bit of luck as well. It's just a fact. Like, with the best will in the world, you can spend years and years and years making videos of such high quality, but if they don't get picked up by the algorithm, if they don't get pushed to the For You page, or if they don't show up in people's recommended feed, then you know, your channel will just never take off. And I think that's the thing. I'm not saying it's entirely luck. I'm not saying that people can just post one video and then suddenly they've got 1 million followers. But I'm not saying that it's entirely based on just hard work and perseverance as well. You have to have a little bit of both. And like I say, in my personal experience, I was on TikTok for 3.5 years before I got lucky and had that one video that took off, and that started really the growth that's continued to this day. So yeah, that's, I mean, the best advice I can give is just stick with it, and eventually you'll get that break. Eventually you'll get that bit of luck that you need for your content to finally take off. I get Randonautica isn't the best idea, but I've recently got to the point, I guess I'm just experimenting. I do exploring, and Randonautica sort of fits in with that. I think it's a good idea. It's good to have a focus. It's better to have a focus, honestly. The thing about my content is that it's so all over the place. I make videos on so many different things. It's almost like a vlog kind of thing. Like, in terms of the style of the videos, where I just kind of talk about my hobbies and interests, there's not really, like, one central theme that I stick to, whereas the most successful creators tend to hone in on a specific niche, you know? So it's definitely a good idea to pick one thing and stick with it and really focus in on that one area. And honestly, exploring Randonautica, that sounds really interesting. Like I say, I think the only advice I can really give is just stick at it, and once you find your audience, once your audience finds you, it will take off. You've just got to stick with it and hope for that little bit of luck that you need to get it to really take off. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to go and mine some more boulders, probably for the last time today. There's only half an hour left, so let's head out one last time into the lava fields and grab some more tungsten. Why are there no boulders up here? It's just empty. Okay, there's some over here. With new content creators, a lot of people already got their minds made up what they want to do. That's very true. That is very true. I feel like in this day and age especially, you really do need to have a niche. Again, I know that's a bit hypocritical of me to say, because I don't really have a niche other than trans girl who talks about her hobbies. But I think, compared to like 10 years ago, when YouTube was a lot smaller, you could kind of just get away with posting whatever you liked, whenever you wanted to. But in this day and age, it does, you know, it goes a lot further if you do focus in on something a bit more specific. Trains, says Marika. That is true. Trains are quite a central theme of my content, yes. But the thing is, like I say, I mean, I post videos about Lego, I post videos about spiders, I post walking videos, I post piano videos. Like, all of those things could be their own channel, right? There are people out there who have entire YouTube channels dedicated to Lego, or dedicated to walking, or dedicated to playing the piano. And I do think that having that specific niche will help you in the long run. It's kind of a do as I say, not as I do, because I, again, don't really have a specific niche, but I think you'll find more success if you do, really. I've noticed that these days everyone leans towards content creating more than an actual job. I think that is true, Draydog, yeah. I think it's because of this perception that content creation is easy. And look, I'm not going to sit here and give you some spiel about how content creating is harder than, you know, working in a coal mine or something, because it's not. I'm not claiming that content creation is like the hardest thing in the world. But I do think a lot of people get into it expecting it to be a lot easier than it is. Like, it's not... there is a lot of effort that has to go into it, you know. It's not as simple as just putting a camera in front of yourself and just talking, right? I know my live streams might seem like that, but then you look at the video content that I make as well. There's a lot of genuine time and effort does go into it, right? And again, I'm not claiming it's the hardest thing to do in the world, because it's not. But what I am saying is, I think a lot of people see it as being a super easy thing to do, which I think entices a lot of people to try and get into it. But again, there just isn't enough time in the world for everyone to be famous. You know, that's just a fact. Despite what Andy Warhol said, not everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. Most people will never be famous. Again, there isn't enough time in the world for everyone to have their 15 minutes of fame. So I feel like a lot of people get into content creation thinking this is going to be super easy. I'm going to post a video every single day and I'm going to get millions of views and everyone's going to know my name. And it's just not actually like that in reality, you know. Most of the big names on social media are people who've been there since the beginning, you know. Which stands to reason, right? The people who've been here the longest are going to have the most followers or subscribers or whatever. But it also shows how much harder it gets to become a success on TikTok and YouTube. Because the more people that are on it, the less chance each individual person has of rising to the top, you know what I mean? People see these popular YouTubers doing their thing and think it's easy, but it's not 100% easy. Exactly, Draydog. Like, one of my favourite YouTubers is Markiplier. I'm a huge Markiplier fan. I've always been a massive Markiplier fan. Since the early days, I remember watching him play Slender the 8 Pages way back in 2009. I love Markiplier, and he has the content that he's been putting out over the last few years is so crazy. Like, he started out just sat in front of his camera playing video games, much like I'm doing right now. But over the years, he's done so much more. You know, he's directing a film as we speak, right? Which is absolutely insane that you could go from just sitting in your bedroom with a camera to 10 years down the line, you're making your own movie. It's really crazy to see that you can make that level of success from it, but it's not easy. You know, not everyone who does it is gonna get to that level. That's just a fact, you know. Like I say, again, I'm not trying to claim it's the easiest job in the world, and the reason I'm saying that is because there's always someone who's like, oh, woe is me, why are you complaining? You're just sitting on your arse all day playing video games. And yeah, that is, to some extent, that is true. So I'm absolutely not claiming that it's the most difficult job in the world, but I am saying that it's more difficult than people give it credit for, you know. I mean, look at some of the videos that I've posted. I don't just sit down, put the camera in front of me, talk for 10 minutes and then post it. You know, there's so much more that goes into making a video and editing a video and stuff like that. And I feel like it's often overlooked how much time and effort does go into it. And again, I think that's one of the reasons why so many people come into it expecting an easy ride. Like, so many people get into content creation thinking, you know, I'll just make a video, I'll post it, and I'll get loads of views. It's not as simple as that. Anyway, back to the game, because we have only got 20 minutes left. I think it's safe to say we are not going to be getting our research finished today. Which is very unfortunate. But we can hopefully get pretty close. We got another, what, 500 tungsten there? So we've made a lot of progress. I mean, at the start of the stream, we were only 39% done on the research. We've now got it to 68%. So there's only another 32% to go, which is pretty good. We're going to fill this chest, aren't we? Yep. Would you look at that? Oh my god. That's now 5 steel chests full of iron, copper, and stone. All being smelted by one single furnace. But on the plus side, we are now doing research again, and it's looking pretty good. How are we doing for yellow? 187. Good, good, good. Okay, everything's balanced again. The only thing we're waiting on is the metallurgic science. As always. 69%. Nice. 31 to go. Okay. So the logistics robots are taking the tungsten now. The tungsten carbide, but for some reason it's still going to end up backing up. I don't know why it keeps backing up, but it does. It could be that we've not requested enough. Yeah, we're only requesting 1 stack, so I think once it's got 50 in there, it doesn't bring any more. If we set it to 500, it'll bring down 10 full stacks before it stops. Okay, there we go. Sorry, itchy head. Okay, this is 70%. 71%. Okay, okay. We're making some progress. It's not a complete loss. I mean, as long as research is still happening, you know, as long as some of these are still working, that's what we're really bothered about. $1,500. Okay, so we got 71%. What's 1,500 times 71%? I'll use a calculator because I can't be bothered to do maths in my head today. $1,065. Okay, we're not getting that finished today then. Absolutely no way we're going to finish that today. So we're going to need 1,000 more metallurgic science packs. Each metallurgic science pack requires 14 tungsten, which means we still need 14,000 tungsten. That can't be right. That cannot be right. Okay, let's work this out. We need 3 tungsten carbide and 2 tungsten plates. 4 tungsten ore makes 1 tungsten plate, so that means we need 8 tungsten ore to make 2 tungsten plates. Tungsten carbide, we need 2 tungsten ore per tungsten carbide, So to get 3 tungsten carbide, we need 6 tungsten ore. That's a total of 8 plus 6 is 14. So we do need 14 tungsten ore for each individual metallurgic science. And if we need 1,000 metallurgic science... Wait, no. Whoa, hold on. I did the calculation wrong. I calculated how much we've already done. I need to calculate how much is left. So we're now at 74. So we need 100 times 26%. No, 1,500, sorry, times 26%. 390. Okay, now times that by 14. 5,500. That's much more reasonable. So we still need to get another 5,500 tungsten. But it's better than 14,000, isn't it? Okay, we're out again. Okay, one last time, for old time's sake, I'm going to go out in the tank and I'm going to get a bit more tungsten. But this is the last time in today's stream that I'm getting tungsten. Let's head southwest, shall we? Okay, I see rocks. Ooh, I hear Wormy. Where is he? There he goes. So if we're collecting about 300 tungsten per trip, to get 5,500, call it 5,400 because that's divisible by 3. Wait, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, it is. 54, 57. Ooh. Hold on, I think my OBS stream might have been interrupted. Okay, we're still good. Okay, where was I? Oh, 54 divided by 3, which is 18. So 54... So 5,400 divided by 300 would be also 18. So we need to do 18 more trips, which is more than we have time for today. That's assuming that we get 300 tungsten per trip. But also each trip we have to travel slightly further to find the tungsten ore. Again, maybe it's best to just not think about the numbers and just keep mining. And eventually we'll have enough. Mind you, I'm looking now, it says we're at 78%, so that's only another 22 to go. Okay, we got 300. I'm just going to mine these last couple of boulders while we're here. Then we'll head back to base, we'll get these processed, see how the percentages look after that, and then we'll end the stream. We might overrun by about 10 minutes or so, because we did start nearly half an hour late, which I do apologise for again. Like I say, I've been getting the house ready for my sister and my nephew coming tomorrow. And just to reiterate again, I'll mention it again at the end for anyone who missed it earlier, but just to reiterate, this is going to be my last stream of this month, because my sister is coming tomorrow with my nephew, and they're going to be staying till Halloween. So the next stream after this is not going to be until the 3rd of November, unfortunately. But I'll talk more about that at the end, and there will still be a video or two coming in the meantime. Oh god, there's so many boulders here. I just want to keep mining them. I've wandered away from the tank again. You putting your brother on the sofa for a week then? Yes, yes, he does go on the sofa while our sister's here. The thing is, he's got a double bed, so obviously with my sister having a 3-year-old, it's better for her to have the bed. And obviously, I would never give up my bed. Not even for my sister. Sorry. No, he loves sleeping on the sofa anyway, to be honest. We got a really comfy sofa. You're not the sharing type, says Draydog. Not when it comes to my bed, no. Oh, inventory's full. Oh, I wanted to get more. Okay, at least now I know for next time where to get boulders from. There's loads of them up there where that tungsten deposit is. I will keep that in mind for future reference. In the meantime, let's head back to the tank, and then we'll head back to base one last time and see how much this is going to do for us. We got about 600 here, which is good. We got as much as we would normally get in 2 trips, which is great. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be away for the next 9 days. I might as well, you know, do this off camera. I'll probably come on this world off camera and just mine a few more boulders and get the research done so that next time we can actually build the artillery that we were supposed to build 2 weeks ago. We'll see what happens. And you go in there. And of course all this copper and iron and stone can't fit anywhere because it's all full. That means we're going to need another steel chest. This is insane. This is how much iron, copper, and stone we have had to mine just to get enough tungsten to do this research. Every single one of these steel chests is full to the brim. That's how much we've had to mine to get enough tungsten to do this research for the artillery. It is insane. We've run out of blue science. Why have we run out of blue science? What's the problem? No red circuits. Why is there no red circuits? Because there's not enough copper wire. God, it just gets so tedious. It gets to a point. I mean, in fairness, I went about this all the wrong way. From the very beginning, I went about this the wrong way, and we ended up making things way more complicated than they needed to be. We could have automated our research in other ways by now. But I've made my bed, I'll lie in it, you know. I'm not going to blame the game for it. It's my own fault. What I am going to do, though, is put in another machine here for copper wire. And I'm going to take a ton of copper from here. And dump it in. And there we go. Okay, that should help. Now let's see if we can... I'm just going to hang about just for a few minutes and see if we can get enough copper, enough red circuits to do a little bit more research. We're at 79% at the minute, which is really good. Excuse me, but we just need more red circuits. Excuse me again. That's the monster, that's why I'm trying to cut down on it. Unsuccessfully. I see green circuits moving, but not red. There's still no wire getting through to the top. What the hell? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to insert some into the machines artificially. I was just really, really hoping to get this research finished today, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, is it? Okay, there's some red circuits going through. Okay, so if there's 100, we need 1,500 science packs in total. So each percentage requires 15 packs, which means we've got enough here to do 5 more percent. Oh my god, we've actually got enough to get it to about 85%, maybe even 90%. We're so close. If I'd actually started this stream on time today, we might have actually finished it. We might have even been able to get this done. But as it stands, I don't think we're going to have time. here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplug half of the machines. Half of the green circuit machines, so that more copper gets through to the red circuits. I think what we really need is more foundries, to be honest. More foundries for copper, specifically, for copper cable. For now, we'll do it with assembling machines, because they're cheaper to make. And we really can't spare any tungsten right now. Okay, got one of these. There's not even any room at this point. Copper wire. Yeah, at the minute, I'm just kind of dumping machines everywhere to make as much copper wire as possible, because we are really struggling for copper cable at the minute. Okay, pop you there. Grab some copper plates. Okay, that's more like it. The belt actually is filling up now. You see the way that some of the cables get nudged back ever so slightly? That means that the belt's full. That means that that side of the belt cannot fit any more items on it. The top part still has some gaps. So we can fit a bit more copper cable on there, but we're getting pretty close to capacity now. And hopefully, it'll solve the red circuit problem. Research has got to 80%, so that's good. But again, there's just not enough red circuits getting through. There we go. Okay, I think we'll leave it there. It's just gone 6 o'clock. This seems like as good a place as any to end it. So let me just do a big save. So we got the research to 80%. I'm not very happy with it. I, was hoping that we'd get 100% and that we'd finally get the artillery unlocked, but it wasn't to be. We got it to 80%. That is as much as we're realistically going to be able to do today. So that's unfortunately where we're going to have to leave Factorio Thursday for this Thursday. Don't go away though. I'm going to do my usual wrap up, and I do have some important information to share because obviously I'm not going to be streaming next week. So I'll tell you more about that in just a second. Switch over to my big camera. Cue the music. Okay, there we go. So that's it. That's it for today's stream, and that is also it for this month. That was the last stream of October. Wow, that is very blue. There we go. That was the last stream of October, unfortunately. Halloween, I don't know. I really did want to do a Halloween stream this year, but there's a family Halloween party planned, which I'm quite looking forward to, actually. So I don't want to let the family down by missing that. At the end of the day, I've said many times before, ultimately my family will always take priority over TikTok. So, you know, when my sisters come in to visit, I'm not going to be live streaming. It's just as simple as that. She's going to be staying until the 2nd, I believe, which means my first stream back will be on the 3rd. So the next live stream will be on the 3rd of November. Unless I can sneak one in on Halloween at some point, maybe on the 30th, you know, the day before. I would like to try and get a Halloween stream in if I can, but if not, the next stream will be on the 3rd of November. That doesn't mean there's going to be no content, though. There is a video coming next week, which is going to be my review of the Lego Nintendo Game Boy. I've written the script for it. It just needs to be recorded and then obviously edited. But that video is going to be going live next week. There's a few other things I'm working on as well. I'm working on a new piano cover. By working on, I mean I'm learning to actually play the piece at the minute. But it's definitely one that I'm going to be making a video of. So there'll be a new piano video coming, hopefully, within the next few weeks. Oh, thank you for the heart, Alan Pickering. So yeah, there's that video, there's the Lego video, there's an upcoming piano video, there's another... I don't want to spoil it, but there's another video coming quite soon as well. I've got quite a lot planned, is what I'm trying to say. And when we come back in November, there's only going to be 7 weeks left until Christmas, which means I'm going to be putting out as much content as I can before the end of the year. So there's going to be plenty of live streams coming, there's going to be plenty of videos coming. I want to end the year on a high note, right? Which means I want to get some really great videos out there. I want to get some more live streams out there. My camera's gone out of focus. Okay, never mind. Just stay out of focus then. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it's the end of the stream. But yeah, I've got a lot planned. Like I say, I want to end the year on a high note, so I want to make sure that I'm putting out plenty of videos and live streams as we approach Christmas. And then obviously, when I do take my 2-week Christmas break, there will still be a special end-of-year stream as there was last year. So all that is to say, I've got a lot planned. There's a lot coming. It's all going to be very exciting, but you will have to wait for November. That's all from me for today. That's all from me for this month. I will see you next week for my new Lego review video. But apart from that, the next live stream will be Minecraft Monday on the 3rd of November. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. It's been a wonderful stream. Nice and quiet, as Factorio often is, but I've enjoyed it all the same. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you enjoy the next week. Have fun without me, won't you? If you've liked what you've seen today, then please do consider following or subscribing on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. And thank you all for joining me on all 3 of those platforms. If you'd like to be notified when I make videos and go live, and if you'd also like to just chat with me when I'm not streaming, then please do consider joining the Discord server. There's a link in my bio and about section for that as well. And if you'd like to support me financially, please do consider checking out my Patreon like these fine folks here. Thank you very, very much to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika. Thank you so much, guys. You know how much I appreciate you supporting me on TikTok, on Patreon. It's very, very, very appreciated. If you want to get your name on this board, it costs £1 a month. You get access to behind-the-scenes content, including bloopers, early access videos, making of videos, and stuff like that. You also get your name on this board, get a shout-out on stream, you get VIP access on the Discord server, and you'll be supporting me in what I do here on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. So thank you very much again to Kate, Jess, Danny, Riley, P, Charlie, Dan, Amy, and Marika for supporting me on Patreon. Love you guys so much. Thank you very, very much for supporting me over there. It's very, very much appreciated. Just pop that back there where it's safe. And with that, that's the stream. That's the end. So I'll get off and make myself some dinner. You fine folks enjoy the rest of your evening, your weekend, and month. I will see you on the 3rd of November for the next live stream, and I'll see you next week for a new video. Thank you very much, everyone. I've had a wonderful time. You enjoy yourselves, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye. And bye-bye, everyone, over on TikTok, on Twitch and YouTube as well. I did it again. I always end up getting Twitch and TikTok mixed up. That's all. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.